Hello, this is Akiko Sedano at stampinginthemeadows.com from Downingtown, Pennsylvania, and I am back to doing my Sunday afternoon Stampin' Up card videos. Let me make sure I don't see my thing coming up yet, so let me see. Hold on a second. Let me get it. I'm a little rusty here. I just want to see, make sure what's going on. There we go. Hold on a second. Let me bring this up. Here we go. Thank you so much for joining me. And I am going to be using the Stampin' Up Sweet Candy Canes bundle. And this is the card that I am going to be making today, and it's got the Glimmer paper in the striped background. Hi, Chi. Thank you so much for joining me. Hi, Karen. Thank you so much for joining me as well. And it's got the die-cut candy cane, and it's got on a little circle and some more designer series paper, and then some greenery behind it. And I used a little one of these jingle bell trinkets for the decoration as well. And on the inside, a sweet little sentiment, and then a stamp. Now, I had made one other card before with the Sweet Candy Canes bundle, but this one, it's very similar because I've got the greenery as well, but this one has the candy cane from the designer series paper. So the Sweet Candy Canes candy cane dies cut both a stamped image, and it's got, it'll cut the candy canes from the designer series paper in the Sweetest Christmas designer series paper pack. So it's really, really very versatile. And you've got, this one uses a different sentiment. Here I use the Christmas cheer sentiment. And so this is really, it's very versatile. And here you can see the stamps that are in it. You've got the two candy canes, and then you've got the dies that coordinate, cut these candy canes out. And the nice thing is that you've got candy canes going in each direction. So you can, in both of mine, I'm using these candy canes, but you can cut two candy canes so that they can kind of cross over each other and complement each other. And then you've got all these wonderful sentiments that are just really, really, really great. These are the dies that come, and this is the background die that coordinates that I used to cut the Glimmer paper, and this is the die that cuts the little sleeve for candy canes, and that's the one that I had in my post this morning. You can see that makes a nice little treat favor. Or just anything you want. And then you've got the two candy cane dies that cut out either designer series paper or your stamped images, and then two of the dies that cut out the greenery. So this is very versatile and really fun. So one of the things that I had discovered as I was making my sample card is that I used this paper, and I used it on Real Red. But I found out that this is really sweet sorbet instead of Real Red. So what I'm going to do is make my card today out of sweet sorbet cardstock, and we'll see, so we'll be able to compare it. So I've got, you can see the difference here. This is, the top one is sweet sorbet and the back one is Real Red. And this is, the sweet sorbet is kind of like a light red. So so it'll be nice. So we'll see how that goes. Hi, Karen. Thank you so much for joining me. And so let's go ahead and get started. I've already die cut a lot of the different pieces, including the background, the background Glimmer paper with the stripes. And what I did was I just laid the die carefully on a 4 by 5 1/4 sheet of the Glimmer Designer Series paper. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to adhere this to my the card base. I'm going to move this aside so that I don't forget where this is. That's my inside panel, and I'm going to glue this to the card base and then let this adhere, let this set up for a while. And I'm going to adhere this with liquid glue and just to hopefully not make a mess. Hopefully I can just put like little strips or dots of liquid glue on these thick stripes in the corner and on the outside. And you've got like, I don't know, an eighth of an inch, is that an eighth of an inch edge here that you can use to adhere your panel to the card background. And it does pretty good in terms of putting on the liquid glue. And then I guess that you could also use the adhesive sheets to give you a good solid stick with it. But I did not do that. I wasn't sure how the dies, how easily the dies were going to cut with the Glimmer paper, and it really worked out better than I expected. I did go over it twice with my die cutting machine, but when you use the adhesive sheets, you want to make sure you go over it enough so that you do cut through everything. So I'm going to adhere. I got that glued up, and I'm going to adhere this. Come on, I need to scooch this over a little bit into my corner. There we go. That's okay. And now I have to scooch it over in the other direction. There we go. Just put it on your card front. Press it down. Actually, this is sticking pretty well. I need to slide this up a little. I think I'm going to let that be. So then I'm going to put this in the corner here, and I'm going to cover it with my big acrylic block to make sure that stays down. So then what like I said, I've already pre-cut several pieces. I stamped the sentiment on a piece of in Sweet Sorbet ink on a basic white strip, and I cut it out with the stitched shapes, stylish shapes dies, and I used this die to cut out the sentiment. I cut out this one with the this is the Sweetest Christmas Designer Series paper, and I used the second of the largest circle from the stylish shapes dies to cut this one out. And then I used the second largest layering circles die to cut out a panel of white Designer Series paper, and I'm going to adhere this to back this like this. So I'm going to adhere that with liquid glue. I'll go ahead and do that right now. Just a little circle. And then when I'm ready to put things together, then I will put this on. And I'll adhere that to the card front also with liquid glue. And just kind of give it a center. Hi, Faith. Thanks for joining me. There we go. There we go. So I think that this background is Sweet Sorbet, whereas I think in the first card that I did, this background is real red. So the Sweet Sorbet really looks like a light red as opposed to a dark red, but you can kind of see the difference here. But so that's why I decided to go ahead and use Sweet Sorbet on my card today, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I've got this done. So then I've already also cut out two of the leafy dies, and these are from the Christmas banners dies. And these are the Christmas banners dies, and these are the dies that go with the Christmas banners stamp set. It's in the same suite as the Sweetest Candy Canes and the Sweet Christmas Designer Series paper. But I cut this die out of shaded spruce, and I cut this die out of soft succulent, and I think they go nicely together. And I'll have on my blog post tomorrow, I'll have all of the cardstock cuts that I used for doing this on my blog tomorrow, so that you can see that. And I'm going to adhere these together, kind of like that. I want to make sure you can see both of those leaves, and I'm going to adhere this on with some liquid glue, just little dots of liquid glue in some of these thicker places here, and then I'm going to first put this on, and it'll see what we'll see. I'm not quite sure if I'm going to stick myself to the paper. That's okay. And then I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to use a glue dot. Where's my glue dots? Oh, here we go. I'm going to use a glue dot, and I will stick it on to both of these, and then I'll stick it on the layered circles right there. So I'm going to get a couple of them, put one right here, and when I've got these two layered together, I've got more space to adhere these. So I've got this, and I want to kind of put this, I want my candy cane to kind of go this way, so I'm going to stick these over here on this side, right up in here to fill up this upper quadrant here. Yes, the red and white, it's just so Christmassy, isn't it? Okay, so I am going to put this aside now, and I'm going to try to do my candy cane, because I haven't stamped my candy cane yet. I've got everything else stamped and prepared except for my candy cane. And what I've got here is a 1 1/4 by 4 inch panel, and I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to do this properly with my just by hand stamping it. My when I stamped this one, I used my stamparatus so that I could do it a couple of times. But this this ink pad is a little bit juicier. My Sweet Sorbet ink pad is a little bit juicier than the my Real Red ink pad, and this stamp set has different has a little bit of shading, which is I think nice. You can see that in the leaf that's there, and then you can also see it in the candy cane. And if I stamp it multiple times with my stamparatus, then I lose that shading. So I'm going to try to do it by hand, and that came out pretty good. So I'm going to just keep that one and not worry about setting it up in my stamparatus, and I'm going to go ahead and use that one. But you see how in this area here on this side of the candy cane, it's a little bit lighter than this side, and you kind of you lose a lot of that when you stamp this multiple times. So I'm going to leave it like that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the die and cut it out with the die. Line that up and cut it out. So I'm going to take this over to my die cutting machine, which is right behind me, and cut this out, and hopefully I'll get a good cut here. And I'll be right back, and we can go on to work on the rest of the card. Let's see. Line it up. I got new cutting plates for my cut and emboss machine. So I'm hoping that this does well. This does me good. Okay, let's see here. There we go. There we go. So we've got the die cut candy cane, and put this away. It's my inside. Okay, so I don't need that panel anymore. So here's my candy cane, and here's my little panel that has these guys on it. So let's see if this is, I don't want to, I'm reluctant to put any more embellishments on here without gluing this down on my card first. So I'm going to do that, kind of mixing things up here a little bit. So I'm going to put my card here about, so it's about 3 inches down, and then I'll put my my panel right in the center here like this. Very, very simple, very straightforward. But since I've got all these different layers of, I'm going to really glue this down a lot. Am I in the camera? Sorry about that. I'm going to put a lot of liquid glue on here so that I can get in between these stripes and get it to stay good. Let's see here. I'm lining it up. Okay, here. I want to go right here to line this up and then get my stripes kind of centered and get this guy kind of centered. And then give it good press so that it stays. Make sure that everything gets so that it sticks to like between this stripe and this stripe, it'll stick to the card base as well as the glimmer paper there. Okay, so this is done, and then the next thing that I want to do is I want to put these little, where's the other one? That's stuck. There we go. There's these little pieces of greenery, and I want to put one up here and one on the side here, and I'll be doing that with liquid glue, but I want to make sure that my candy cane looks okay. So I'll kind of put the candy cane right there, and I will go ahead and glue this guy up, and stick one glue dot on there, and this is where my candy cane will go. So lift it up a little bit and put this down. So I've got like three different colors of green: the garden green stamped, the soft succulent, and the shaded spruce there. And then, whoops, be careful there. And then I'll put this guy down here, and then I'll put the label on top of that, and that'll be like that. So I'll get this guy glued down with a glue dot. Hi, Amy. Thank you so much for joining. Let me see. I am so surprised that I'm able to get my comments here. So I was glad about that. I was a little worried about that initially. So there. So I'm going to put the candy cane on with glue dots, but I'm going to leave a space for this because I've got 3 layers of die cuts underneath that. So I don't want to put a piece of a dimensional there. So I'll keep the dimensionals on the top and bottom. And my little half dimensionals, they work perfectly for getting my candy cane stuck. Because I don't have to worry about cutting them up again. I think I've got room for one more down here. So let me check this and see if it, I'm going to stick one more right here because that feels a little floppy. Yeah, so pull my finger and yeah, one more there. Yeah. Yeah, okay. There. I think I could even put one more right here. So leave my finger right there. That's getting a little close. Let's see here. I just love this this bundle. I love the candy canes. I always put candy canes on my Christmas tree. So I think this is perfect. And I just had to make the little, and this was so quick. And I used the little iridescent sequins on that one. It was perfect. But this bundle is just so quick. The next thing that I want to try to do is make my candy cane shiny. So for the next card, I'll try to do a pair of candy canes and make them shiny with some clear embossing powder. So there's my candy cane, and then I'm going to put my label just right on the side here, and I'm going to do this with, I'm going to stick a dimensional underneath the, underneath where it's going to go over the candy cane, and I'll use, I'm going to stick a glue dot on this side underneath over the candy cane, and then stick some dimensionals on this side where I've got more room. Like that. And then the biggest challenge is going to be to make sure that it's straight. Okay. Use this guy to hold it. Put this on. Like that. Okay, so I've got those, and then I'm going to attach. So what I've done here is I've got one of these little jingle bell trinkets, and the nice thing about these is that they're flat, so they're not going to add as much bulk to your card than as if you added a real jingle bell. And I used the white baker's twine to just wrapped it around there and made a bow, wrapped it through the loop and made a bow. And I'm going to put that on my card, and I'm going to do that with a glue dot. One of the things afterwards is I made the switch over to the Sweet Sorbet card base, is that I realized that we have Sweet Sorbet and white baker's twine, and I don't have any of that, but I wish I did, because I think that would be a good option, because it would go pick up with the red and white design on here. So let me see this. So do I want to put it down here? I think I'll put this one down on the bottom next to the sentiment instead. So I've got my jingle bell, and I've got my two leaves and my candy cane. And can you see the difference in the color? I think it's very, very subtle in terms of the difference between the Sweet Sorbet and the real red. And the Sweet Sorbet kind of looks really nice. So I'm going to put this aside for now, and I'm going to work on the inside of the card. And then I'll finish off the front when I am done. I'll put my candy cane. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simply line this up and stamp the sentiment. And this is the sentiment that this set has beautiful inside sentiments. Does this say? This is the one. What does this say? Wishing you lots of love, joy, and happiness this Christmas season and always. I think the oh, okay, Karen. I think I think the real red goes with it as well. The inside sentiments are just wonderful, and they also go with the inside the sentiments from the Christmas banner stamp set. So I think everything is pretty much interchangeable between the two sets. So let's ink this up. And I'm going to be using Sweet Sorbet on this. Okay. That's straight. Do this one, I think, a little higher. Hopefully I can see. Hopefully I don't rock. Okay. It's such a pretty sentiment, I think, for Christmas. It doesn't say too much, just says it's perfect. And then I will put the little leaf sprig underneath. In garden green. Then I'm going to just simply adhere my little strip to the bottom, and I'm going to do this with liquid glue. And this on, trim the bottom. And then I'm going to adhere this to the inside of my card. I'm going to use Stampin' Seal. There. Okay. So as a finishing touch, I'm going to use these little pearlized enamel effects. And this is the real red one. And I'm going to put this, because this will make it like little pearlized things. So instead of jewels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just test it out on here. And just you put it, squeeze them out, and then lift it up. Just squeeze them out and lift it up. And it'll take a while to dry, so I went ahead and I did my inside before I did actually put them on. And I'm going to put one on the label right here. And you can make, the thing that's nice about this is you can make them any different size. And the consistency of this one is just perfect today. I'm not quite sure how to fix it if the consistency is not quite right. But I will put 3 of these on. I think I'll go ahead and put the other one right up in the corner here. And so you've got those, and you want to give this about an hour to dry. So I'm going to just leave this here for the next hour or so. And but this is the card for today. And this is carefully, there's the inside, and that's it. And compare my finished product with the real red card. So you can see the difference between the Sweet Sorbet and the real red. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye-bye.